Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned into the Attention to Orders podcast. I'm your host, Big Sarge. I know it's been a minute. I ain't got no excuses for you. I'm just gonna say it's been a minute. But I had to come on here to talk about this. I had to. I had no other choice but to come on here and to talk about this. On yesterday, on yesterday, 14 Fort Hood soldiers were fired or suspended over violence at base. Now, for those of y'all who have been following me, for those of y'all who know, I am prior military. I'm retired from the Army, Hooah. And you know that when I was doing my Attention to Orders podcast this summer, I was talking about how horrible it was that those soldiers were coming up missing, those soldiers was coming up dead, and especially when it came to PFC, I'm sorry, I said PFC, Specialist Vanessa Gillian. She was PFC Vanessa Gillian, but I think after she passed away, they promoted her posthumously. Is that how you say it? I hope I said that right. But those of y'all know that Specialist Vanessa Gillian was that case was near and dear to my heart because of the leadership aspect and the fact that young lady lost her life. And so on yesterday, 14 Fort Hood soldiers, according to Yahoo News, 14 Fort Hood soldiers fired, suspended over violence at base. And now, if you've reading this, you've seen, I started off, the title of this podcast is When Hooah Just Ain't Enough. For those of y'all not familiar with Army vernacular, let me tell you how it goes. Hooah can mean anything. Hooah means drive on. Hooah means continue the mission. Hooah can mean I don't care what you're saying right now. Hooah can mean anything. When I'm reading this, I'm looking at it as the Army saying Hooah, but it just ain't enough. It is not enough being done at Fort Hood. Let me read this article, and this is according to Yahoo News. The Army on Tuesday said it has fired or suspended 14 officers and enlisted soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, in order to policy changes to address chronic failures of leadership that contribute to a widespread pattern of violence, including murder, sexual assault, and harassment. In a sweeping condemnation of Fort Hood's command hierarchy, Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy fired 3 top commanders and suspended 2 others pending a further investigation. He also ordered a separate probe into staffing and procedures at the base's criminal investigation command unit, which is responsible for investigating crimes on Fort Hood. The actions come after a year that saw at least 25 soldiers assigned to Fort Hood die due to suicide, homicide, and accidents. Let me read that to you one more time. The actions come after a year that saw at least 25 soldiers assigned to Fort Hood die due to suicide, homicide, or accidents, including the bludgeoning death of Specialist Vanessa Gillian. Gillian was missing for about 2 months before her remains were found. Speaking to reporters at the Pentagon, McCarthy said based on an independent panel's review, he concluded that the issues at Fort Hood, including major flaws in the response to sexual assault and harassment, are directly related to leadership failures. He said he was greatly disappointed in the commanders there, adding, without leadership, systems don't matter. Let me stop right there. And I understand what you're trying to do, General. Hold on. Is it General? What did I say his name was again? Oh, my goodness. Look at that. I'm sorry. Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy. I understand what you're trying to do, sir. And I understand it to clean up. But the problem is, and the problem that I'm having is, the problem that I'm having is that, hold on one second. Here we go, comments. The problem that I'm having is the fact that you all are doing this because of something that came to light. Let me tell you all something. Let me give you all a little insight. And I said this earlier this summer when on the Attention Orders podcast, but I'll say it again. They're only doing this because they got caught. About has been so toxic since my stepdad was stationed at Fort Hood in the 70s. And that's when you can get away with a lot of stuff, and they didn't care. And so they kept that same toxic environment, that same toxic culture coming through the ranks, coming through years and years of Fort Hood, and left it that way until finally somebody said, wait a minute, we got to do something, but we're only going to do something because we got caught. 14 people were fired. It should have been 1,400. I'm going to tell you something right now. That culture is not going to change at Fort Hood. It's going to go silent and dormant for a while, but it's going to come right back. It's because of the mindset that my rank allows me to tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, instead of saying, let me treat you all like humans. Let me treat you all like individuals. Let me treat you all like people. And if the rank needs to be involved, then the rank will be involved. Getting back to the article, speaking to reporters at the Pentagon, McCarthy said, I said that General James McConville, the chief of staff of the Army, told reporters that he spoke to Gillian's mother on Tuesday morning and told her, we are holding leaders accountable and we will fix this. Gloria Gillian, Vanessa's mother, said during an emotional press conference in Houston that she spoke with McCarthy and told him the administrative actions were a step in the right direction, but she wanted to see those who had failed her daughter serve jail time. Nothing's going to take away the pain I feel as a mother all day and all night, Gillian said in Spanish through tears. The Gillian's attorney said Criminal Investigation Command, known as CID officers, were among those fired or suspended Tuesday. The panel found that Fort Hood was used as a training ground for new CID officers, and there are a lot of turnover, and many of those officers were inexperienced and overassigned. Let me stop right there. The Criminal Investigation Command officers, known as CID. Let me tell you all a little bit about CID. Excuse my vernacular, and for those of you all who are Christian and for those of you all who don't use profanity, stick your fingers in your ear right now. CID, they operate like they shit don't stink. CID operates as when they show up, you're going to do what I say when I say do it, no matter what, because I'm CID. The problem is they're pompous asses. Let me just say it like that. When they show up, they already have their mind set up on what they're going to do, and they don't want to hear the facts. Now, not all of them, don't get me wrong, not all of them, but the majority of them. So I don't care that they were inexperienced and overassigned, and they shouldn't have been there. Guess what they should have been doing? They should have been somewhere else getting the training and not at Fort Hood, where you have a toxic culture of suicide, homicide, sexual assault. They tried to cover this thing up. CID. Side note. You know how many soldiers I've seen who were innocent, but CID railroaded them, railroaded their careers, railroaded their military time because of what? Because I'm CID. I can do what the hell I want to do. So many times I have seen CID and MPs show up and they don't want to hear nothing because, in all honesty, it does not matter. You could be an E7, that's a sergeant first class, and a specialist could show up as an MP, and you got to do what he says do. And that's the sad part about it. I told you all in the summer, hey, listen, CID is involved. They dropped the ball, and now they're trying to cover it up. But the problem was this family was not letting it go. And as it gained momentum in the press, as it gained momentum in the media, they could not avoid the fact that they made mistakes. How is it that you walk into a place where a young lady has been bludgeoned and you don't even do tests for blood on the walls? They dropped the ball on this whole case. But the fact that they're CID, they get away with whatever they want to get away with, the same way the MP does. That's why when I had an incident when I was in Germany, stationed in Germany with the MPs, and they tried to tell me, get your wife in here, this, that, and other, I said, I damn sure will not. Whatever you plan on saying or doing to her, you're going to do it to me. I don't holler at my wife. I don't cuss at my wife. And I damn sure ain't finna let nobody else do it. I don't give a damn if I got to go to jail today. That don't matter to me. You're not finna treat my wife like that. But that's how they do it. And that's the mindset that they have. Let me finish reading this. McCarthy also ordered a new Army policy that changes how commanders deal with missing soldiers. McCarthy also ordered a new Army policy that changes how commanders deal with missing soldiers. McCarthy also ordered a new Army policy that changes how commanders deal with missing soldiers. What? A new policy? Are you trying to tell me that you don't have the most effective way to keep account of your soldiers? They have a thing called per stat. That's the accountability of all the soldiers. Why the new policy has to be changed? The old policy should have been put in place to hold accountable leadership to their missing soldiers. I don't get it. Why are you doing a new Army policy? Is this what's supposed to satisfy the loved ones who have lost loved ones? Let me finish reading so I can get up out of here. The panel found that there were no detailed procedures for what commanders of small units should do if a soldier is missing. The panel found there were no detailed procedures for what commanders of small units should do if a soldier is missing, but not necessarily AWOL or absent without leave. The new policy requires leaders to list service members as absent unknown for up to 48 hours and to do everything they can to locate the soldier to determine if the absence is voluntary before declaring anyone AWOL. This is the biggest crock of crap I have read. The biggest crap I've read. The panel found there was no detailed procedures for what commanders of small units should do if a soldier is missing. Yes, it is. There is a policy in place. There is something that enlisted soldiers, NCOs are supposed to do if soldiers are missing. Ain't no such thing as a soldier should be missing for over 48 hours. That's your job to keep account of your soldiers. A commander? Are you telling me that a captain does not know what to do? A major does not know what to do? A lieutenant colonel does not know what to do. A colonel of a small unit, then why the hell are you putting him in command of a unit if he does not know what to do if a soldier comes up missing? That's bullshit. I'm mad. Yes, I'm hollering. Yes, I'm aggravated. Yes, because this makes no sense. And this is the same way I felt when this thing started before specialist giving. I wear this proudly, but I know that I served my country and I did everything that I was supposed to do for my soldiers. This doesn't make any sense to me. Let me finish this thing on now because I got to get up out of here. So it says the firings included, and it lists the names of people. The administrative actions are expected to trigger investigations that could lead to a wide range of punishment. Those punishments could go from a simple letter of reprimand to a military discharge. The Army did not provide names of the lower-ranking soldiers who faced possible discipline. The base commander, Army Lieutenant General Pat White, will not face any administrative action. Asked about that, McConville said White was deployed to Iraq as the commander there for much of the year, so wasn't at the base. Leadership is about presence, said McConville. The base commander, Lieutenant General Pat White, will not face any administrative action. Asked about that, McConville said White was deployed to Iraq as the commander there for much of the year, so wasn't at the base. Leadership is about presence. I'm going to end on this. McConville, you said right here that General White won't face any administrative action because leadership is about presence. Leadership is about presence. You know, when I read leadership is about presence, it made me think about something. It made me think about something. When it said leadership is about presence, it made me think about something. It made me think about the time that I was downrange. It made me think about the time when I was in Afghanistan and my family was stationed in Germany. And Mila and the kids had some issues amongst themselves. Mila disciplined the kids. The kids went to school. The teacher found out that Mila had disciplined them. And now you got the MPs, you got Army Social Services, you got CID showing up, trying to find out everything that's going on, right? Everything that's going on. So they run through it and they're going through this investigation. And all of a sudden, hey, Specialist Bearfield, we need to talk to you for a second. Yes, sir. What's going on in Germany? This is my commander now. This is my company commander. Hey, Bearfield, what's going on back in Germany? I said, sir, with all due respect, I'm here with you every day. Only thing I can go by is what my wife tells me, and I told you I will tell you what she's told me. So you telling me you don't have command of your home? I said, sir, with all due respect, I am here with you. My presence is here. I'm not home. So there's nothing that I can really do over Skype to rectify the situation. So what you're telling me, Specialist Bearfield, is that you don't have control over your home. Once again, sir, with all due respect and without me pushing this issue any further to get myself in trouble, I can't do anything because I'm here with you serving this mission, sir. And once this mission is done and I get on, I try to find out what's going on. I do the best that I can, but I can't do anything here. Maybe I put too much faith in you, Bearfield. Hooah, sir. Roger that. Next thing I know, they've flown in a CID officer from Iraq to sit down and to talk to me about what's going on at my house. I reiterate, sir, with all due respect, I can't really do anything from here because I'm here. I'm in Afghanistan. The issues that are arising or that's going on is in Germany. There's nothing that I can do. Well, you know, the Army can punish you for not being there. For the Army can punish you for your family's actions. Even though you're here, you should still be able to control your household there. So the Army can punish you. I don't understand, sir. Can you reiterate what you're saying? The Army can punish you because you don't have control over your household. You are the service member. You should have this under control. So when your family is acting up in Germany and you're in Afghanistan, you should still be able to control this. Sir, I'm not there to be able to control this. It does not matter, Specialist Bearfield. It does not matter. I say all that to say this. Then why in the hell ain't General White getting in trouble then? Why the hell ain't General White getting in trouble? Leadership is about presence. I got in trouble and I got reprimanded and I wasn't present. I was not present in Germany. I was in Afghanistan. But because this general was deployed like I was, excuse me, that's not COVID. Because this general was deployed and away from the base, like I was deployed and away from my household, he gets a pass on everything that's going on down at Fort Hood. And soldiers like myself at the time, lower ranking soldiers who really didn't have a say so because of their rank, gets in trouble, but you give a pass to these people? Leadership is about presence. Then why on a daily basis in the Army, I can't speak for other military branches, why in the Army every day these soldiers are getting in trouble when they're TDY or when they're deployed and they're not there and things are going wrong at their household because they're not there, and you punish them? See, you probably could get away with telling that BS to somebody else, but I actually worked in the department where I seen the legal paperwork that had to go. I seen what we had to review the legal paperwork before we sent it to legal. So I'm seeing these soldiers getting in trouble about things that are going on at home. I'm seeing these things that are going on at home, and these soldiers are getting in trouble, myself included, because we're not there, and we got to complete the mission here. You ain't letting us go home to fix the problem because we got to be here for the mission. But you're giving General White a pass for all the bullshit that's going on down at Fort Hood still, that is just being covered up a little bit better now. This ain't it. This investigations and all that ain't gonna stop nothing that's going on at Fort Hood, because Fort Hood is toxic. Leadership is about presence. Wow. Hey, enjoy your pass, General White. Enjoy your pass. I'm pretty sure, without a shadow of a doubt, because I know how these things work, General White is getting his pass, but that don't mean that General White didn't know what was going on at Fort Hood. There's no possible way that this base commander was oblivious to the fact of all these things that was going on. No possible way. You can tell that to some people, but you can't pee on me and tell me it's raining. So before I end this podcast, my heart and my soul and my condolences goes out to all those family members who have been affected by piss poor leadership at Fort Hood. And guess what? I'm retired. I'm not in the Army. My name is Brian Bearfield. I ain't Sergeant Bearfield no more. I ain't Specialist Bearfield no more. So you can Lieutenant General, General, 4-star General, retired Lieutenant Colonel, whatever. I don't care who you are. You come up to me, you're a man, and I'm gonna treat you as such. I don't give a damn if you care about how I don't give a damn if you care, if you don't care about what I say. You ain't finna check me no more. You don't have that power to check me. That was the one thing that I smiled about when I signed that paperwork to leave the Army, that I was no longer tied to a rank, and I was able to become a man again. I wasn't a little boy because of my rank. I was a man again. And as a man, I will cuss you smooth out and tell you, I'm from Texas, bro. You know what that means? A fight come with that. Hey, you've been tuning into the Attention to Orders podcast. I'm Big Sarge. Make sure you're following me. Big Sarge Sports on Twitter. Big Sarge Sports on IG. Big Sarge Media on YouTube, and the Attention to Orders podcast available wherever you get your podcast from. Hey, guess what? I got to get up out of here. I love y'all. I'm doing a sports talk with Big Sarge. I have a sports talk with Big Sarge podcast being dropped and released here later on today as well. Thank you all for the support. I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. And if don't nobody else tell you that they love you, I do. I'm out.